Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're diving into infrastructure as code with Terraform and working with Azure, today's video is just for you. We are going to break down how to work with lists in Terraform, complete with Azure-specific examples. All right, let's start with the basics. In Terraform, lists are simply collections of values that you can access using numerical indexes starting from 0. Think of them like arrays in other programming languages. The key thing to remember is that all elements in a list must be of the same type, which makes your configurations predictable and manageable. Let's jump into our first example, a list of Azure locations. The variable Azure locations is a list of strings, each representing an Azure region. This is super handy when you want to deploy similar resources across multiple regions without duplicating your code. All right, let's go ahead and save the code, then run the Terraform apply command. Now let's look at the outputs. Notice how it shows all Azure locations as a full list of regions. And for second Azure location, it pulls out the item at index 1. Which is West US. Next up, let's talk about a more flexible type of list, the list any type. This allows you to mix different data types within the same list, which can be useful in certain Azure configurations. Check out this example where we define a list that includes different types of values related to Azure resources. In this case, the variable Azure resource settings of data type list any includes a string for VM size, a number for instance count, a boolean to enable monitoring, and another string for a tag name. The all resource settings output shows the whole list, standard DS1, number 4, true, and my resource tag. The third resource settings output retrieves the value true from index 2 of this list, indicating that the monitoring is enabled. This flexibility can be useful when dealing with diverse settings for your Azure resources. Let me go ahead and save the code, then run the Terraform apply command. Now check out the outputs. First, we have all resource settings, which shows the entire list, standard DS1 V2, number 4, true, my resource tag. Next, third resource setting retrieves the value true from index 2 of the list, indicating that monitoring is indeed enabled. Now let's move on to a more structured example, a list of maps. In Azure, tagging resources is a best practice for organizing and managing them effectively. Here's how you can define a list of maps for Azure tags in Terraform. Here is the breakdown. The variable Azure tags of data type list map is a list where each item is a map containing environment and owner keys. The first map tags resources as production environment owned by Team Azure. The second map tags resources as staging environment owned by DevOps. The all Azure tags output will display the entire list of tag maps. This approach allows you to apply different tags to various Azure resources systematically. Let's save the code and run the Terraform apply command. Now, if you take a look at the output for all Azure tags, you'll see it displays the entire list of tag maps. Finally, let's explore list of objects. This is particularly useful for defining complex configurations like multiple Azure virtual machines with different settings. Check out this example. In this setup, the variable Azure VM configs is a list of objects data type, each representing a VM configuration with VM size, OS type, and disk count. This variable has a default value where the first VM is a standard DS1 V2 size running Linux with 2 disks. The second VM is a standard DS2 V2 size running Windows with 4 disks. The third VM is a standard B1S size running Linux with 1 disk. The all VM config output displays all VM configurations. The first VM size output retrieves the size of the first VM from the list, which is standard DS1v2, because the index is set to 0. This method allows you to manage multiple Azure VMs with varying configurations efficiently. I'll go ahead and save the code, then run the Terraform apply command. Now, if you check the output for all VM configs, you see it displays the full list of all VM configurations. And for first VM size, it shows the size of the first VM in the list, which is standard DS1v2, since we set the index to 0. Easy to follow, right? And there you have it. We have covered how to work with different types of lists in Terraform, all within the context of Azure, from simple lists of locations to more complex lists of objects for VM configuration. These techniques will help you manage your infrastructure as code more effectively. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Have any questions or need more examples? Drop a comment below. I would love to help out. Thanks for watching and happy terraforming.